The village most ugly girl becomes the queen part 2. But as the sun began to set on their afternoons together, doubt began to creep back into Adanma's heart. Why are you so nice to me? Curious because she had never had any friend from childhood till now, he is the very first person that talks to her and she doesn't know his background or haven't seen him in the village before. I'm not like the other girls. Yuzoa's expression softened, and he moved closer. Adanma, beauty is more than what the eyes can see. It's about kindness, strength, and authenticity. You have all of that in abundance, besides only fools look at the outward appearance. I've seen a lot of girls in village bragging about their beauty, without self-respect and always throwing themselves at guys. But you maintain your pride and even think smarter, and you have a sweet soul. His words sank deep into her heart, filling the void that had long been there. Yet still, doubt lingered. I don't really know much about you. You said in due time I'll know. When is the due time? She asked, curious about why Yuzo decided to hide his identity. The time is near, he replied, taking her hand in his. The warmth of his touch sent shivers through her. Just enjoy the moment for now, you might get uncomfortable when I reveal my identity. One evening, as the stars twinkled overhead, Adanma felt a growing sense of comfort in Yuzo's presence. The moon hung low, casting a silver light over the clearing, making everything feel magical. For the first time, she felt as though she belonged, even if it's just for a moment. As their bond deepened, Adanma started to see the world through new eyes. And with each day that passed, she felt herself growing stronger, more confident. One day, as they were playing by the riverside, 3 ladies, known as the beauty queens in the village, Abigail, Doreen and Neka, were passing after fetching water from the stream. They have always seen themselves as the future queens of the village. While passing, they laughed hard at Adanma and Yuzo. Your story, Adanma, is titled The Prince and the Frog, Handsome and the Beast, Abigail said, bursting into loud laughter while Doreen and Neka joins her in laughing. Yuzo was furious, but still maintained a calm appearance, seeing that nobody knew his true identity. He then said, you that claim to be beautiful, how has it helped you to secure a prince? You people parade yourselves as future queens, meanwhile the prince doesn't even know about your existence. You people have never even met the prince, yet you still even sleep around, guys playing with you like toys. Because of your so-called beauty, you have lost your self-pride, while she is a woman of virtue. If I were the prince, I would marry her 100 times over. Yuzo was still calm after saying this. Adanma felt so good, happy that for the first time someone is sticking up for her. After he said this, the 3 girls went their way feeling embarrassed. Adanma, feeling so excited, couldn't control her feelings. She excitedly jumped and hugged Yuzo so tightly that you could see the emotions spark between them. She started weeping, saying, this was the very first time someone is ever standing up for her. Yuzo felt her pain. He held her and told her, you have found one now, you have found a friend, a brother and a fiancé. He said, smiling. His words struck her heart. She looked at him. Fiancé? She asked with a raised eyebrow. He smiled and then said, I have come to love you. You are a lady with a great heart. And you will make the perfect queen. His words made her heart flutter and she blushed. He then continued, will you marry me? Adanma felt the world coming to a pause. She could only see she and Yuzo against the world. Adanma looked at Yuzo and she said, I'm glad that the universe brought you to me. The gods have compensated my years of sorrows through you, and yes, I will marry you. They both hugged tightly. Yuzo then gave her the biggest shock of her life. I am the prince. Adanma's heart dropped. The prince? Why me? She stammered, confusion and disbelief flooding her mind. She searched his eyes for the truth, wondering if this was some cruel joke. Because you see the world differently. You have a spirit that shines, even when you don't see it, Yuzo replied, stepping closer. I want to share my life with you. Tears filled Adanma's eyes as a wave of emotions crashed over her. "I never thought I could be loved by a prince. This is huge," she said, her voice shaking. "You are loved, Adanma. You deserve to be cherished," he said, taking her hands in his touch warm and reassuring. Yuzo took Adanma to the palace and introduced her to his parents. Adanma experienced a warm welcome from the king and queen. They prepared dinner for the prince and his bride, and then the prince asked the maids to give Adanma a makeover as he was going to go see her parents. After the makeover and change of clothes, Adanma stepped out of the house looking radiant and very beautiful that you could hardly recognize her. Yuzo's jaw dropped. He couldn't imagine such beauty hiding under a mistreated skin. He vowed in his heart that he would take care of Adanma and maintain her beauty for her. He couldn't hold himself any longer, so he walked up to her and gave her a deep kiss. Back home, the three so-called future queens had reported Adanma to her mother that they caught her making out with a man in the woods. Upon hearing this, her mom was furious. "Has this girl not done enough? Now she wants to embarrass our family. I'll deal with her when she gets back." While they were still talking, the royal convoy arrived. They were all surprised to see the royal convoy, so they fell on their knees as custom demands to greet the royal family. As they raised their heads, at first they couldn't recognize Adanma, but after taking a closer look, her mom burst into tears. The three so-called future queens were surprised that the guy from the woods was actually the prince. They hid their faces in shame. Their engagement was a celebration unlike any the village had seen. Adanma, once the ugly girl, stood radiant in her wedding dress, surrounded by the laughter and joy of those who had once mocked her. The villagers, moved by her transformation and the love she shared with Yuzo, began to learn to see beyond mere appearances and not to judge anyone based on looks. As the wedding day approached, Adanma found herself filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The villagers gathered to prepare for the festivities, and for the first time, Adanma felt included, welcomed. She thanked the gods for the great compensation. The end. Please, like, follow and drop your comments about what you think of my stories.